And then whenever you're ready, Monifa, you ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, greetings, good evening. Good evening to everyone joining us from east to west to north to south. Welcome to our rally tonight. We are going to let everyone know that moms are saying that it's time. It is long past time for our issues, for our representatives, and for us to rise to the highest office in the nation. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We want to start off with a bang, with an amazing first speaker. Our wonderful, am I still pinned? We're live and starting off with the amazing, powerful champion of our leaders forever. She's been with us from the beginning. She's with us now. And we know as we move into this next phase, when we win, she will be our champion moving forward. Representative Jayapal.
Thank you so much, Monifa, and hello, moms across the country. I am so thrilled to be with you, and I'm outside, but I didn't want to miss this call. I'm in the middle of a dinner, but I came because I know there are thousands of Moms Rising members across this country that are ready to get to work, ready to implement our agenda. And I'll tell you, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Pramila Jayapal. I represent the Seattle area in Congress. I'm the chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and I am a huge supporter of making sure that we have everything we need for moms to be successful. And that is paid leave, that is universal childcare, that is taking care of our domestic workers who are the workers that make sure that all other work gets done. It is making sure we're investing in long-term care. It is paid leave. It is all the things that President Kamala Harris will implement for us. Now, I was elected on the same night as Kamala was. She was the first South Asian American woman in the Senate, and of course, Black woman in the Senate. She wasn't the first, but she was an amazing trailblazer. And I was the first South Asian American woman in the House. And so we got the opportunity to work together on all kinds of things, starting with right after Donald Trump. Unfortunately, we were elected on the same night as Donald Trump. And when he instituted the Muslim ban, I was at the Seattle airport fighting to make sure that people were not going to get deported, that immigrants were not going to get deported, and simply for being Muslim. And I realized that we really needed to make sure that people had access to legal counsel. And so I introduced a bill, and who did I call to be my partner in the Senate other than Senator Kamala Harris? And she was right there. She was on the Judiciary Committee. She has been a real partner on making sure we have a fair and humane immigration system. And then soon after that, I introduced the National Domestic Workers Bill of Rights with my Senate champion, Kamala Harris, because she understood that domestic workers deserve the same civil rights and working protections as every other group of workers has, except for farm workers. We need to get it done for farm workers as well. And so that whole experience of working with her and being a partner with her is exactly what carried into her remarkable work in the administration as our vice president. There is nobody more capable of talking about the need for us to have control over our own bodies, to be able to protect reproductive freedom, to be able to make sure we are taxing the billionaires so that we can invest in things like childcare and the child tax credit, making sure that people have money in their pockets to take care of their kids. And so I am so excited. I endorsed Vice President Harris immediately for president. The Congressional Progressive Caucus PAC has endorsed Vice President Harris for president. I'm going to Georgia tomorrow. I'm doing a whole slew of events as a surrogate for the vice president tomorrow. So those of you who are in Georgia, please come out. We are going to have a great set of events tomorrow. And I want to end with this. The thing that has really made me feel so hopeful, so much joy, is not just that Kamala Harris raised more money in the first 24 and 48 and 72 hours than any other candidate in history, but it is how that money came in. Came in through 1 million small dollar donors. It is the fact that 63% of those donors are first-time donors. It is the fact that 48,000 volunteers signed up to knock on doors. It is the fact that we have 38,500 voters, new voters registered in the first 48 hours. That is more than when Taylor Swift said, go vote last September. And it is the fact that you all are on this call right now. So thank you for doing the work to make sure we elect our first woman president, our first Black woman president, our first South Asian American woman president. And I am going to be right there with you every step of the way. Thank you all so much for having me on. Thanks for the work you do. And let's get to work and elect Kamala Harris for president.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I love all the emojis. I love all the love in the chat. We love you, Representative Jayapal. Thank you for being with us. And when we say that Kamala Harris represents and pushes our agenda, well, we have a video to show you right now that highlights what she's already talking about on her first day as a candidate.
We believe in a future where every person has the opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead. Where every person has affordable health care, affordable child care, and paid family leave. And we will believe in reproductive freedom about their own body and not have their government tell them what to
I love it. Are you all fired up? I see in the chat that everyone is really fired up. So huge shout out to the team that put that together and to all of our partners who are on here tonight. Continue to put your name, your state, your pronouns in the chat. There are thousands of people on this call right now, and we want to stay engaged and in touch with each and every one of you. And so now, without further ado, we're going to turn it over to our fearless leader, Kristin Rowe-Finkbeiner, CEO and co-founder of Moms Rising.
Thank you so much for being on with us. Thank you to everyone who is rising. Thank you to Monifa for being the MC tonight. Thank you to Representative Jayapal. Thank you to all the speakers, the leaders who are going to hear today. We are doing an online rally of Moms for Harris. We are doing this, people. We are building a powerful movement across organizations. It's not just Moms Rising. You're going to hear from many organizations across communities. All of us here are covering the entire United States of America. We called this Zoom less than 24 hours ago, and we had thousands and thousands and thousands of people RSVP. People can still put out the RSVP link if you want. And there's lots of moms on together right now, thousands and thousands. This is what democracy looks like. We are what democracy looks like. And speaking of democracy, there are 94 million mom voters, 94 million. That's why the far right has been targeting mom voters for far too long. But we are here tonight to say we won't let them win. The Zoom today is just the beginning of a massive movement of moms across communities, organizations, and states. And the people who've had moms are welcome too. Everyone with a belly button can be involved. We're all in for Harris. So tonight we're going to talk. We're going to share. We're going to be inspired by great leaders on this Zoom together, and we're going to move forward together, and we're going to act. Throughout this Zoom tonight, we'll be sharing some actions that you can do. I just want to highlight them. We have 4 key actions tonight. The first action is really important. There's a lot of disinformation about Vice President Harris. So the first action is to talk about the issues that are real, the issues that are factual with your friends, with your families, with your neighbors, and share that Vice President Kamala Harris stands for the policies that poll after poll shows are highly popular with voters who are Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarian, Green Party, and everything in between. Those policies include childcare, fair pay, paid family and medical leave, aging and disability care, maternal health and reproductive freedom, and more. When you talk about our leader, VP Harris, know that so many people don't know how good she is on the issues, and so you are an excellent messenger. Action 2, volunteer for mom-to-mom handwritten postcards to help get out the vote. You volunteer, we send you the postcard packets. They're pre-addressed, pre-stamped. Action 3, make sure that you're registered to vote and that your friends, family, and neighbors are registered to vote too. Too many people are getting pushed off the voter rolls and need to make sure that they're back on in time to cast that ballot. Make sure that people know there's a lot of disinformation so that when they do vote, after they're sure that they're registered to vote, they are able to vote with love and joy. And don't give up. Know there'll be ups and downs as we go through this campaign, but together we're a powerful, joyful force. Action 4, last but not least, contribute directly to Harris per campaign via carewins.org. We want to make sure that we help raise as much money as possible, and donations that go through that site go directly to VP Harris, and they go with a little memo that says we support CARE. So you're getting a double boost, both for the VP and for the CARE policies. Now, I want to thank you again for being on. I want to get back to all of the spectacular leaders who are on this call. Let's hear them. Let's joy together and let's organize together. So back to you, Monifa, to start our online rally of powerful, inspiring, nation-lifting, spectacular speakers. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kristin. We have a dozen of our closest friends and partners here to start us off. And I want people to know that this is the first call. It will not be the last call of Moms for Harris. So stay tuned and tell your friends. But first up are our amazing friends at Parents Together. I want to hand it over to Ailen Arreaza.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited and inspired to be here with all of you today. This is so amazing to see. I'm Ailen Arreaza. I am the executive director at Parents Together. And I have to tell you, I have not stopped smiling since Sunday. And I have started every meeting with my team by singing, Black Lady President, Black Lady President. I'm going to record that song and put it on Spotify. I am so fired up and full of hope about electing Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. At Parents Together, we have our finger on the pulse of what parents are feeling, what we're thinking. And we hear over and over again that parents are struggling. But we also know that there are solutions that exist to help families and that Kamala Harris supports them. You know, the other day I was talking to a mom and we were reminiscing about that glorious summer a couple of years ago when parents were getting the $300 a month from the child tax credit deposited into our bank account. And the mom said to me that when she got that money in her account, she would feel calm in her body. That's the kind of difference these policies can make. And do you know who cast the tie-breaking vote in Congress in favor of the child tax credit? It was Vice President Kamala Harris. And that's the thing about Kamala Harris. She gets what we need as parents. In her very first speech as a candidate for president, she talked about paid leave, about affordable childcare, the things we need, the things we care about. I always say that there is nothing more powerful than parental love, that parental love is the most powerful force in the universe, that as parents, as moms and dads, we will do whatever it takes to ensure our kids have a future in which they can thrive. And this year, I cannot think of a better way to show how much we love our kids and how much we care for them than by voting for Kamala Harris. She can create the future our families need, the future we deserve. And I am just so thrilled to be here, to be rolling up my sleeves, to be doing the work to get her elected. Because as she said, when we fight, we win. And I am so ready to fight.
When we fight, we win. Come on, chat. Let's get fired up. When we fight, we win. Thank you so much, Ailen. Thank you, Parents Together. I'm going to hand it over to another one of our besties. This call is full of all of our besties. We have besties in the national organizations, Midwest, East, West, North, and South. So we're going to take it to Michigan and introduce Danielle Atkinson of Mothering Justice, who we love.
Hey everyone, I am so happy to be with you. Danielle here. I am in the airport, but I really wanted to be able to spend some time with you. You're going to hear amazing things tonight, but I just wanted to address, I think, the things that prevent us from getting out, right? Just like we heard from our friends at Parents Together, we would do anything for our kids, right? We would summon the strength to lift a car. We would stand in front of a bullet. Right now, we have to summon the strength to have the hard conversations with our friends and our family. And even if you think those conversations go on deaf ears, what you're doing is you're putting a wet blanket over that person. And so when they talk to the next undecided voter, they're less enthusiastic. So we have to summon the strength to have those conversations. We have to make a list of about 5 people, right? Moms Rising is giving us a really good program, and a lot of other organizations have great programs. But if that's intimidating, just get 5 people that are like-minded, get yourself in a group chat and challenge yourself to do hard things. Challenge yourself to go canvassing, to pick up the phone. This is the time to save our democracy, and you are the superhero that we need. I also want you to call out racism, sexism, and cynicism. You're gonna hear a lot of it, right? The moment you get out of your bubble of support, you're gonna hear people say things and you're gonna have to call them out. Now is the time to be strong. The future of our country depends on us being the heroes, and I have faith that everybody can do it. Also, we need to always hold our elected officials accountable. I'm really excited about this candidacy. It means so much to me as a Black woman, as a Jamaican woman, as a parent of biracial children. This is just such a time. But who we are the people that hold a mirror up to the faces of people with power. We have to make sure that all of our elected officials up and down the ticket that are going to be holding on to Vice President Harris's coattails are with us on the issues, that they make commitments, and the day after the election is when we get to work to make sure they become policy. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate all the hard work you're about to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mothering Justice, another one of our national partners. We love them so much. We've got partners in these policy state halls, in Capitol Hill, in the courts, and we have besties in the streets. Y'all, are y'all marching in the streets? Next up is one of our favorite besties to be in these streets with, which is Women's March. I'm gonna hand it over to Tabitha St. Bernard Jacobs, my friend. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Monifa. Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be on with you all tonight. The energy in the chat is just incredible. Just so you all know, there are over 3,000 people on this call with you all here today. So I just want you to sit and feel the power of everybody coming together this evening. As Monifa said, I'm with Women's March, and I'm also a mama to 2 kids. My kids are 9 and 4. And in all I do, I think about the world I'm helping build for them to inherit. Organizations like Women's March that are left of center have been tracking the rise of fascist tendencies across the country for several years now, when Women's March has been loud and clear in sounding that alarm. And in fact, our very existence as an organization is a reaction to the rise of those fascist tendencies as embodied by the election of Donald Trump as president in 2016. So we feel like we have a mandate to remain steadfast in our fight, to grow the feminist movement, and to fight fascism in this country. When we say and when we rock our shirts that say feminist versus fascist, we mean that is ultimately our commitment as an organization and as a movement. We are not in a position where we can afford to cede any ground to the opposition. And we are also clear that elections are not the be-all and end-all for feminist organizing. We will continue to organize in the electoral moment and beyond. We will hold elected leaders accountable to their mandate to care for our communities and for our children. And so we know that part of the role of elections is to create the terrain that we will organize on. And we know that terrain will be shaped over the next 4 years by who is in the Oval Office. Late Cape Verdean freedom fighter, who's called Amilcar Cabral, taught us that we must base our struggle on the concrete realities of our country. Our charge in this moment is to create space within our current reality to struggle towards a feminist vision. And for us at Women's March, that means that we cannot hand the keys to our future, to our children's future, to fascists. So we invite you to join us. We'll be organizing Knock Your Block parties across the country for you to have direct and honest conversations with those in your own community. Many folks on the left have valid concerns, and we need to create the biggest we possible by listening and learning. And also join us on November 2nd for a nationwide march as we power to the elections. If you're looking for any more information about these actions, you can go to womensmarch.com. Together, we can bring all hands on deck to stem the rising tide of fascism and to create the landscape for us to organize towards a feminist future for us and our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Women's March. Thank you, Tabitha. Like I said, our besties in the street. We have besties in the state houses. We have besties on Capitol Hill. We have besties in the court. We're going to come to them soon. But what I want to just pause really quick and let our interpreters, because we are streaming live, not only on Moms Rising, but also on Mamás con Poder. So I would love to have William or Kristin just do a quick explanation on how you can hear everything that we are saying right now in Spanish. Kristin, I saw you unmute. We can't hear you. Are you talking?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Kristin, and I'm joined by my colleague, William. I'm really sorry for any inconveniences. I'm going to give you fast instructions so that you can hear our interpretation in English and Spanish. So if you have a computer, click on the globe-like icon at the bottom right of your Zoom window, then select English. If you have a tablet or a smartphone, click on the three dots at the bottom right of your Zoom window, then language interpretation, and then English. If you do not select the language, you will not be able to hear the interpreter. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to switch to Spanish. Muy buenas noches a todas. Quiero darles las instrucciones para que puedan escuchar la interpretación en español. Estoy unido con está conmigo mi colega William Salazar y vamos a ser sus intérpretes. Si están en una computadora, seleccione el botón que dice interpretación en los controles que están en la parte de abajo de su pantalla y elija español. Si tienen una tableta o un celular, haga clic en los tres puntitos en la esquina inferior derecha de su ventana Zoom, luego en interpretación de idioma y después español. Si no selecciona un idioma, no podrá escuchar al intérprete cuando hable en su lengua. Muchísimas gracias. Back to you, Kristin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristin. And thank you to everyone who is listening in English and who's listening in Spanish. We will all come together and do this. So like I said, y'all, National Women's Law Center. Come on, our besties in the court. They are who we turn to interpret the law, to fight, to litigate, and on the policy side. I'm going to turn it over to another bestie, Fatima Goss-Graves.
Hi, Monifa. Hi, everyone. I'm Fatima Goss-Graves. Tonight, I'm here as part of National Women's Law Center's Action Fund. And I also am just coming in with a wild amount of energy and joy about what's possible. And I just want to say that, and maybe some of you are here with your own children, and mine are downstairs. Hopefully they're going to stay downstairs for just a few more minutes. But I've been thinking so much this last week about the future that's possible and what I want for them, what my hopes and dreams are for them. And I've also been thinking about what it looks like to actually be seen, to be seen as someone who provides care for them, to be seen as someone who sometimes provides care for the elders in my family, and to think about the fact that we have about 100 days between now and the possibility of having someone who from the earliest days in her career has named and prioritized caregivers. And my mind is blown every time I think about that. But I also just have to say that I have been entertaining myself this last week as someone who is allergic to cats. I'm allergic to cats. So there are no cats rolling around my house. But I have been entertaining myself with the idea that the way in which folks have clapped back against the sort of insult around single women with cats or cat lady of it all. And the reason that I have been entertaining myself with it is because one of our superpowers is the ability to have joy and laughter in the face of the sort of efforts to drive hate, including a very narrow idea of the role of women in this country. There is a very narrow idea of the role of women that is throughout Project 2025. And it is not one that has matched my life or the lives of anyone else I know. And the idea that somebody else would set out a vision and then use the government to make it so is terrifying. But how wonderful that people clap back with joy and memes and their love of cats. And so I'm allergic to cats, or else you might see me with a cat. I thought about borrowing a friend's cat and like being somewhat distant so that I could take a picture, but I am actually deeply allergic to cats, so I won't be doing that. Here's the last thing that I just want to say. And, you know, I came up as someone who was a lawyer who understood and felt very deeply that things like the law, our Constitution, our courts, that they were powerful things in our society and core to our democracy. And I cared a lot about that. And I still do. And when I think about this next 100 days, the question before us for our future is whether or not those things that we fought for many centuries ago are still true. They are foundational to our ability to be free. For me and my family to be and feel free, but for so many other families. And so I know, and with my kids in mind and with my family in mind, I'm going to do everything in my power to fight for a future for them and for their kids and for their kids. So I got on this call and I thought, how many people could be on this call? The fact that this call is like chock full and this chat is on fire, you all are giving me life. And I just thank you. Thank you to Moms Rising. Thank you to everyone for convening us and for gathering the moms in this country and caregivers. Honored to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fatima. Thank you. Thank you, National Women's Law Center. We love you. Next up, our besties in paid leave. We are not only organizations, but we are also organizations of conveners. And we have so many people building powerful coalitions around each and every one of our issue areas. And so next up, we have our Paid Leave for All Coalition bestie, Dawn. We'll bring her to the stage.
Thank you so much. It is such fun and such an honor to be here. First, I want to apologize. The blue light is because I'm the new owner of a sign that says past paid leave in bright neon. I feel like you're missing the effect, but it's in my son's room, so we had to try. But I'm so excited to be here with my mamas, my mamalas, my mommies, my birth moms, my stepmoms, my surrogate moms, my chosen moms, mom figures, children of moms. And I'm here tonight, not just as a mom to my son, Graham, but a mom to my whole pod from COVID, who you see here. They promised to be quiet because I think it's important to talk about. This is my family, a chosen family, children I care about like my own, who may interrupt, they won't. But I think that's an important point to make tonight. And I want to say I have been waiting so long for a presidential candidate like this, and I bet you have too. Also, I want to shout out, I think I saw a lot of Cleveland notes in that chat. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. So for anyone from Ohio, sending love to you. We've been saying for so long that paid leave and care are not just nice to have. They are not just social issues. They are not about workplace perks. These are fundamental issues of freedom and family, and they are everything. They're about financial security. They're about our public health. They're about racial and gender equity. And they are the reasons we get up in the morning. The reasons that I can speak for myself at least, the reasons we lose sleep at night. The reasons that we're here, we're alive, and the reasons that in this country we have lost so many important moments. It is time for a new day and a new chapter in America, where issues like paid leave and care are not an afterthought, but a vision for the future of our country. I've watched Kamala Harris kick off every stump speech this week with that vision, one where all of us can thrive. I truly believe that electing her and passing paid leave and care will transform the world. And I'll be focused on that with all of you every moment for the next 102 days. I'm just really glad you're with us. I hope you'll bring a friend or 5 along, that you'll share this love on social media, that you'll contribute any money, $1, $2, $5, whatever you got on Care Wins. Sign up with the campaign and for shifts. I used to be the confirm caller, so I have to make that plug. I love a shift and be part of this joyful, hopeful movement. And I believe that organizing with belief like this is capable of anything. So thank you all. I'm just thrilled to be here. So much love.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Don Huckelbridge. We love you so much. We have an action moment. Can we throw up the card on the screen? We're going to talk really quickly about an action that you can take right now. Talk about the issue with your friends, family, and neighbors, and share that Vice President Kamala Harris stands for the policies that poll after poll show are highly popular with voters. These issues are childcare, fair pay, paid family and medical leave, aging and disability care, maternal health, reproductive freedom, and more. All right. So this call is about firing us up. It's also about taking action. And so next up, we have another bestie. We've had our besties in the streets, in the courts, in the halls, in the coalitions, and now it's in the workplace. One of my favorite people, Carol Joyner, Family Values at Work. Come to the stage.
All right, y'all. I am thrilled as well to be here. I'm excited to be with Kristin and Monifa, not new, to be excited to see them, but absolutely excited to see all of my other friends on this call and the 2.8 thousand moms who are listening and showing love in the chat. I so appreciate you. I think I have some of my birth sisters on the call, some of my cousins, and some of my chosen family from all over the country. Hey, y'all. We are thrilled, and I'm so happy to be here to talk to y'all about the exciting moment that we are in. We're here to celebrate the historic candidacy of Kamala Harris, someone who you know does not have to make up the conversation about care, about being a partner, about being a cat lady, about being a lawyer, just whatever it is. She is the lived experience. She has it. And we have been longing for a long time for somebody who can come along and actually complete our sentences. We know that she has the lived experience because she talks easily about paid leave. It rolls off her tongue in the middle of a conversation, in the middle of a speech. She talks about childcare. She connects those dots for us almost every time she speaks. I have an old graphic of her, with a quote around gender justice and equal pay. I think that must be about 8 years old. She's been in this movement, fighting for women, fighting for mothers, fighting for families, bringing justice to our lives. And I am thrilled to even just imagine that she will be the leader of our country. She's the first candidate with all of our lived experiences right in her pocket, and she talks about it so easily. I'm also thrilled because, like moms, we have been through so much over the last, I want to say 8 years, right? Someone told me once, well, we're in this like national kind of just languishing. First, it was 4 years of Trump, which was depressing. Then it was the pandemic. Biden's administration pushed us somewhat out of that. But what we have right now, the opportunity and what she's even brought in the last couple of days, y'all, is pure joy to our lives, to our movement, to our cause. We see that joy. We see her dancing. We see her smiling. We see her laughing. And I don't care what the critics say about that. That is the joy that we have been missing for so many years. She is lifting us up. And so it's time for us to get to work, to get organized, gather your friends, take these lessons and marching orders from Moms Rising seriously. Pull your people together. It is amazing to see folks that they can come together when they've never even worked on a campaign, go into your living rooms, figure out how you're going to canvass, connect to local organizations, decide whether or not you want to join a phone bank that's already established or create your own. It is an unlimited amount of work that has to happen, but we can do it. We can be strong and we can make this happen. And she's doing it for democracy, for family, for our communities. We're going to do this, y'all. We're going to do it. And guess what? Like Kamala, we're going to do it while dancing. We're going to do it while smiling. And we're going to do it while laughing all the way to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Are you with me?
Thank you. We are with you always, Carol. We are always with you. Thank you again to our bestie in the workplace, Family Values Action. And you know, when you work, you also have to party. And so we have party besties. Our party besties are the DNC Executive Committee. And next to the stage, we have Kristin Pelosi.
Hello, 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 everybody. It is a pleasure to be with you. I am a stepmom, a birth mom, and a cat mom. Now, being a cat mom, as you might imagine, my cat is wandering around somewhere. My teenager told me a month ago it was going to be brat summer, which made me a little nervous when my teenager told me she was going to be a brat. But she said Kamala is brat and explained it all to me. So that was all happening even before we knew. And I must say that as someone who has known Kamala Harris since law school, I can tell you that she has always had a drive for others, a care for others. When I was I thought at the time I was 30, I thought it was a midpoint in my career. And I was trying to figure out what kind of law I wanted to practice next. She and I had a very long talk about getting into the work of domestic violence, child abuse, and particularly sexual assault prevention. And that's when I went and started my career in the San Francisco District Attorney's Office doing that work. So I can tell you, whether it's through her commitment, her mentoring, but the same Kamala Harris that faced down the doubters when she came to the San Francisco District Attorney's Office, you know what she did? She went to trial. She went to trial against one of the most famous defense attorneys in the country, and she won. And that silenced a lot of that chatter. When she ran as a come from behind victory, again, silencing the chatter. So the chatter is always going to be there. It's our job to speak the truth and tell the stories about the Kamala Harris that we know. And so I wanted to take this moment as a member of the Democratic National Committee and an original, by the way, Moms Rising member ever since I went to interview Joan Blades about Move On in her living room in Berkeley. And she said, now I'm starting something new. And I wasn't even a mom yet. She said, doesn't matter. You could still join us. It was years before I became a mom that I was part of Moms Rising. So I thank you for welcoming us in. But let me say this, in 20 years that I've done candidate campaign boot camps, this is what they say about women. You're single, you can't attract somebody. You're married, you should put your marriage first. You got kids, you should be taking care of them. You're divorced, you couldn't keep them. And if you're a widow, you must have killed him. So that's what they say and do every single time to women. And so we have to bust those myths, not on behalf of Kamala Harris, but if they can do that to someone running for president, they can do that to somebody in the workplace. And Kamala Harris understands that. And so let's get those postcards written. Let's get this excitement going. And in conclusion, I want to be with the moms as I formally nominate Kamala Harris for President of the United States. This is my nominating petition to the Democratic National Convention, and I'm going to fill it out now with all of you and send it in. So thank you for letting me be a part of that. Let's go win and let's have this excitement together. Thank you, Moms Rising. Thank you, Moms for Harris.
Let's go win. Yes, let's go win. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is so exciting. A ballot is being cast as we speak. So next, we have two more besties before we have another action for you all to take. I know there's a lot of city girls in the house. We talked about City Girl Summer, we talked about Brat Summer, and we also have our suburban besties, right? We're organizing moms and women in the suburbs all over the country in partnership with our amazing, amazing besties at Red Wine and Blue. Next up to the stage is Katie Paris.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And it really is going to take all of us, isn't it, y'all? We got to have our city mamas, our rural mamas, our suburban mamas. And I am just so excited to be working alongside all of you. Red, White, and Blue, for those of you who aren't familiar, we've quickly become over 500,000 diverse suburban women working together to defeat extremism one friend at a time. Because that's how we do this. We got to be brave enough to have these conversations out there. And I gotta tell you, our community is feeling braver than ever and more unified than ever. We really started growing and becoming a community in 2020. And the feeling that I have had lately, it is the sense of unification that we had back then and then some, except here's the big difference. Back then, we were unified out of fear. We were all really scared, right, of Trump getting reelected in 2020. And now we are unified. It feels so good to actually be for something. Do you all in the chat feel that way too? Like just this sense of unity, like unified, like tell me yes in the chat if you are feeling unified with your friends. I mean, the last several years have caused a lot of tension and heartbreak among families and friendships. And right now it's a sense of coming together. And how amazing does it feel to feel not just unified against something, but for something? The amount of energy we're seeing at Red, White, and Blue, we have had women start hundreds of new local grassroots groups in our network. We're now in 48 states all across the country, thousands of new women volunteering to be relational volunteers, which means not just I'm bringing myself, but I'm bringing my whole squad. I'm bringing all my people and really being able to put some skin in the game. And I think it's because the reason why we're so unified and feeling like we're for something is that we've just been so desperately wanting someone to take the fight to Trump, to make the case. We feel it with, the fire in our hearts and in our souls, and being able to have someone who gets it, who understands that we don't want the government coming in and controlling our lives. We've got enough of a mental load. We don't need that too. So someone who gets it and someone who's going to so expertly, so competently make the case, it sure does feel like a load off. Don't you all just feel like your legs, your feet feel a little bit lighter now? So that's a good thing because we do have a few more than 100 days to keep going. I feel like I can sprint for 100 days. Sometimes it feels like a lot to ask doing this politics thing, but I think we can do this for 100 days. And I'm so glad to be doing it with all of you. So thanks for having me tonight, and can't wait to be linked, unified, arm in arm with all of you over the next 100 plus a few days.
Thank you. And we're so glad to be doing it with you too. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
Katie.
Monifa.
Earlier, when we had Representative Jayapal on, she talked about that Domestic Workers Bill of Rights, and the chat exploded. Next up are our besties for the domestic workers, making sure that we are locking arm to arm with all of the industries that we know are the front line of care, right? We're talking about care. And also, one of my personal way back besties, since we were baby organizers, Ailen from National Domestic Workers. Come on to the stage.
Thank you, Monifa. Love you so much. Hey, everybody. I'm so happy to see you and all this energy, big winning energy in the chat. I'm an organizer, and for more than 25 years, I've worked with domestic workers and caregivers, most of whom are moms. And one thing I've noticed is that ever since we started, we were always underestimated, undervalued. And we never let that stop us. We just kept going, and we have made the impossible possible. Actually, not just possible, inevitable, so many times. And you know who never did underestimate us? Who never underestimated or undervalued us? Vice President Kamala Harris. When she was a senator, she sponsored the Domestic Worker Bill of Rights. As vice president, she has championed childcare, paid leave, aging and disability care. In the Biden-Harris economic agenda, the first administration to put it in the economic agenda instead of putting it in some side piece. She is still fighting for our agenda. And like us, she just doesn't stop. And she is going to make the impossible inevitable. In fact, it's not impossible. It is possible, and it is going to become inevitable. And I just want to say, hey, to all the stepmoms, the bonus moms, the caregivers who are second and third moms out there, we're legit powerful. Mamala speaks for us. She is us, and she fights for us, and we have to fight for her. Because when she wins, we will win not just for us, but for our families, for generations to come. Let's do this. Let's win, y'all. Back to you, Monifa.
Thank you so much, Ailen. Thank you for your words. Thank you for the words that have been shared so far. We have an action moment right here, people. How many people have signed up for the postcard so far? Put a little note in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. Join in with us as we write mom to mom handwritten postcards to help get out the vote. We have pre-addressed, pre-stamped postcards. We'll send them to you in a packet. You hold a postcard party. It can either be with your cat. Yes, we are supportive of cats and postcards too. Or it could be with your family. It could be with your friends. Sign up and we'll send you a postcard packet. We're also putting it in the chat as well. The URL is just go to MomsRising.org/postcards. If it's coming too fast through the chat and you can't get that URL, it's MomsRising.org/postcards. Next up, we have another bestie, a super spectacular bestie. We are so thrilled to be joined by our favorite friends at Hustle Mommies, Ariel, DeNey, Rainey. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Oh my God. Like, I just want to say something. I'm going to be real. I'm going to shift a little bit. We just saw as Black America, the video of Saya Massey, a Black mom, be shot and killed by a police officer. And in the same week, we see a Black woman running for president. The emotions that I feel after seeing that video and then seeing that was so amazing, because we constantly go through these emotions as Black moms. And now to be on this call with other moms from different backgrounds and diversity, and we're coming together because we understand the importance of having the first mama ever in history to become president means so much to me. The reason why we support her at Hustle Mommies is because the work that we do is centered around gun violence. I'm from Chicago in a community called Inglewood, and we have buried close to 30 kids and moms that have been shot and killed due to gun violence in the inner city. This is something that is major and something that often is not looked at a lot by other communities who don't understand what that's like. But the beautiful part is Kamala's office. She opened the first White House office for gun violence prevention. And they have worked with us so much on ways to empower our moms. We've worked with Moms Demand Action and all moms who come to our community events and they volunteer and they work with our moms in our community. This is beautiful. This is about community coming together and for us to fight for each other as moms. This is something that is really needed. And I'm just really thrilled because it seemed like that I'm gonna be honest, I was a little hopeless with everything that was happening with that other man that we're not gonna name who was running for president. I felt a little hopeless. I didn't know what was happening. And it was just so much that was fighting against us. But when we got that notification on Sunday that he endorsed Kamala, all the energy just came back, and I was excited as a millennial mom. I had 2 kids by the time I was 19 years old. And so fighting for my kids' future, my son getting ready to go to college, and just making sure that our kids are safe and that we're able to fight for urban education, for mompreneurs, and all these moms that are doing amazing things was super important for me. So I'm telling you all now, Danielle for Mothering Justice, Alicia from the Current Project, and Viola's house in Dallas with Donna Hickman. We've all come together with other moms to do Mama for Kamala, and we have a Facebook community where we're fighting together to make sure that we're having conversations and we're mobilizing and we're hitting the streets. And it's Mama FOR Kamala, and we're really working with all mom groups, Moms Rising, all other groups to make sure that we come together and fight to make sure that we are getting this vote out. In my community, the moms that I work with are moms that are in communities that have socioeconomic issues. And the response that I've seen from these moms who often feel hopeless has been beautiful. Our Black and brown moms are ready to fight. And so we super excited about coming together as a collective so we can really fight and get things done that we need to get done. And so I would like to say, make sure that you are having these conversations with your mom friends. We have to fight because, you know, they trying to have control of our bodies. They don't really care about our voices like that. We got to fight for paid leave. They expect us to come back after 2 months of giving birth. Do they know what we go through? Listen, this is something that is super needed, and I'm super excited about all of us coming together and really raising concern about these different issues that's impacting moms, not just Black moms, not just Latina moms, but all moms, because regardless of our individual issues and cultures and backgrounds, motherhood is hard as hell. It's hard. And we have to come together and fight to make sure that our kids are protected and future moms are protected. And so I'm really excited. You guys, we're going to continue to have these meetings. Join us at Mama FOR Kamala on Facebook in our group. And let's come together and kick some ass, okay? Let's go and make it happen. I am super pumped up. Let's do it, you guys. And so I want to thank you guys so much. And let's keep the party going.
Thank you. And
Sorry,
yes,
I'm a millennial. I know I got you too excited, but I'm a millennial.
there's nothing that's too exciting. This is amazing. Thank you so much for firing us up. We have our next bestie, a bestie who is coming to us from London right now. We have Reshma Saujani, who's with Moms First. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, I am so excited. I'm ready to kick ass too. So that was just incredible. Yes, it's almost 1:30 in the morning in London. I'm in my bathroom. So hi, everybody. It's so great to be here. And it's so great to be here, you know, in solidarity with so many of my sisters who've been fighting this fight for so long. Moms First is a C3. You know, we've been working essentially we have over 1.1 million members. We've been mobilizing businesses, moms in the workforce. We're mobilizing moms who are sitting in the middle to be fighting for paid leave and childcare. And we're really pushing through culture change because we do not value what we do not respect. And let's be honest, we do not respect American motherhood in this country, and it needs to change. I'm a mom of 2 boys, Sean and Sai, 4 and 9. So I am deep in the struggle with that perimenopause and being a mom of young kids, like probably a lot of folks on this call. But I came to this work as the founder of Girls Who Code. I built Girls Who Code for the past 10 years. And during the pandemic, half the girls we teach are brown and Black, are under the poverty line. And so many of them that September were on their way to major in computer science. But because daycare centers were shut down and schools were closed, and their mothers are essential workers, our nurses, our teachers, the people who's kept our cities alive and open, because they had to work. My students couldn't go to college because they had to stay home and take care of their siblings. And you saw so clearly how this intergenerational cycle of poverty is created because we don't have a structure of care, because we have a broken structure of care. And so I realized I could teach millions of girls to code, but if I didn't help their mothers, we didn't solve anything. The reality is that motherhood is the unfinished business of gender equality. You know, we live in a country, the only industrialized nation that doesn't have paid leave. You know, most women go back to work just 2 weeks after having a baby. You know, 40% of parents are in debt because of the cost of childcare. Study came out 2 weeks ago that the cost of childcare is now higher than rent in every single state. But still, we make women feel that it's their fault. It's their problem. If they color coded their calendar or got a mentor or a sponsor, they too, you know, could be free. But the reality is we'll never be free until we have the ability to move in and out of the workforce by choice. And that is exactly what J.D. Vance and Trump do not want. If you look at his rhetoric, whether it's about cat ladies, whether it's about being against universal childcare, whether it's about saying that the proper place for a woman is at home, We clearly know what their vision for American motherhood is. And Kamala Harris's vision for motherhood is very different because she's lived this reality. She is a mom. She was raised by a single mom. She knows this fight in her blood. And that's why she's been fighting this fight with so many of us for so long. I was on a call yesterday with 10,000 South Asian women. Not only will she be our first Black president, female president, she will be our first South Asian president. And it is with so much pride and love. We've called her our Lotus, who will be our POTUS, that the community is just inspired by her. So we are ready to get to work. And the thing that I just want to leave you all with is like, moms, we got more power than we know. And they will hear us, feel us, and see us in November. So every minute, every second, every breath that we have to take needs to be in this fight to make sure that she is our next president. So thank you so much, everybody, for having me and for being in solidarity together.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reshma. Hear, see, and feel us, y'all. They are going to feel the power of moms together. We want to take a quick break and go to our next action. Let's throw up the slide for our action, where we want to make sure that you're registered to vote and that friends and families and neighbors are registered to vote too. Make sure that people know that there's a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean like way too much disinformation. So we need to vote with love and joy and away from the hate, but also pass around truth and correct information. Don't give up. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but we are a powerful force. So wherever you hear that disinformation rearing its head, make sure that you are there to counter it. And you can look at any one of the partners, any one of our besties on this call, their websites, and probably grab the information you need to debunk that misinformation. So last but not least, I'm turning it over to Kristin to give us our next action item.
Thank you to everybody for taking action by coming together. As we know, this is a very first step on a very long march on a short timeline, just until November, to get our first Black woman in office, VP Kamala Harris. This is huge. We've been putting into the chat box during this meeting ways for you to contribute through carewins.org/give. This is a platform of multiple organizations, many of them you've heard from today, coming together across lots of different issue areas, across lots of different perspectives to help push somebody into our highest office who respects us, who reflects our priorities, and who fights for our families, our economy, and our future. We have an opportunity right now where our nation is on the precipice of choosing between two very different candidates. We have one candidate, Kamala Harris, who is for the policies that we've heard time and time again from moms, but also from dads, from caregivers, from people who have had moms all over the nation that we so desperately need. We are one of only 7 countries in the world on the planet Earth that does not have paid family medical leave when a new baby arrives. That is ridiculous. We have the highest maternal mortality rate of any World Health Organization, and we have a rising infant and mortality rate with Black women 3 times as likely to die as white women in childbirth. That is absolutely not okay. And VP Kamala Harris has been fighting for maternal health equity from day one, and she has been fighting for us. We have childcare, which right now costs 33% of people's wages on average. That's more than college in most states. We have a crisis of both childcare and childcare workers who are some of the lowest paid people in the United States of America. And that's also not okay. It's unacceptable. And here too, we have a candidate in VP Harris who has come forward with solutions. And these solutions also expand to aging and disability care, where there's also a crisis. We have, as Ailen, who we just heard from, often says, a silver tsunami coming, and we are not ready. We are not ready in our care infrastructure. Just like we need to build bridges and roads to drive on to get to work, we need a care infrastructure so children can thrive, so parents can work, so we have care workers who are paid fairly, and so businesses and our economy can bloom. Because even the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, recently said that our lack of a care infrastructure is hurting our international competitiveness and hurting our economy. But we are here with solutions. All of us are here with solutions. I want to thank all the people who are tuning in on the Facebook Live, and there are many, all the people who are tuning in on other platforms, and the thousands of people who are tuning in here for coming together with solutions. Our solution is our power. Our power is our vote. It's our contributions. Every $1, $2, $3, $5, $50, $50,000 counts as we march toward the White House. Our future, our solutions are our voices, our stories, our experiences when we share them with elected leaders and the media. Our voices are demanding that we elect Vice President Kamala Harris to the highest office of the land, President of the United States of America. This is going to be the first of many Moms for Harris Zooms that we have. We're going to party. We're going to get some DJs. We're going to keep dancing, singing, marching, fighting for the future that we all deserve, because we know that we have the candidate who will bring us with her. We have the candidate who will bring the change we need. And we know that we together are the movement she needs to win. So thank you for being here. Thank you for answering the call to action. Thank you for all that you do each and every day. Let's do this, people. Thank you and good night.